Three, two, one. Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Jafrican once again. Let me set the camera a little straight. Alright. Alright, so I'm trying something new because I just can't find the time to make videos. I'm trying to live stream, show the content that I want to show, talk a little bit, and hopefully get everything done without any hiccups. Right, I don't know if the camera is set right. Right, so the whole idea that I got was to use my phone as a webcam because for some reason the camera that I have needs a bunch of other things to be set up as a webcam. And then I'll be able to just record and share screen and show what I want to show. It would be a little bit different from what I'm used to, just making videos and editing them. But I realized that if you take 2 hours to make a video, it might just take 4 hours to edit the video because you have to watch everything and go through things all over again, right? And that could take a lot of time. So because I can't find the time, I realize that I'm not making much video at all, right? So this is the new idea that I got. It's not a new idea. Just finally got around to trying it. All right, so let me know in the comments how it goes if you're hearing me, right? If it's glitchy, because sometimes I can't tell, right? So I would appreciate that feedback. So this is video number 2 of building my house in Jamaica, right? The first video that I gave, that I made, kind of showed from start, laying out the excavation and all of that stuff, pouring concrete, casting it, and building up to the point of, I think, to the window. All right, let me quickly run through some of the photos for those of you who have not seen the first video. You could definitely go ahead and check that out. All right, I would really appreciate it. So share with screen now. I think there's a screen. Let me share my screen. Live stream. File Explorer photo. Yeah, that's the one. All right, so hopefully I'm sharing the right screen. You should be seeing a house plan, a floor plan. All right, so this was the original floor plan, right? This is the first part of the structure where I would have 2 bedroom, kitchen, open concept, living room and dining, a back porch, a front. I think the front one is not shown on this one, but there is a patio at the front, right? And bathroom, washroom area where you see 5, right? And that would be the first structure. On the second structure, we would know, when I'm able to build that part, I would, demolish separate the walls between the kitchen and the primary bedroom, and let it become living room, dining area where the bedroom was. Bigger table, bigger family. You know what it is, right? But this is what the first structure should look like. Now, let me run through a few pictures just to kind of catch you up if you didn't see the first one, or you could go and see that one because you might find more information there. And so I had the land cleared, right? It's a nice piece of property, pretty relatively flat, not really flat, but there's not too much hilly parts, right? So it was very easy to deal with. This was like a first design idea that I had, right? So the ideas change over time, but the general structure remains the same, right? Getting the excavation out. As I said, I knew a little bit about this, so I helped right here with that kind of stuff. Then we started the digging. I really feel like I should have dug it deeper, right? Even in parts that we didn't get reach, even when we had rocks, I feel like we should have bust through more of the rocks and just anchor it better. I'm just thinking because it's a pretty soft soil. Of course, yeah, we got to some eating, outdoor cooking, dumpling and ackee and saltfish and banana, pan the pot cover. Right. Again, this was another design idea that I had in mind. This is another. Right. You could go ahead and tell me which one you think looks the best. Right. So excavation was done. We got the block lane started, and it was going very well. We got to the point where I had a tractor. That's what we call it. A bucket, whatever, to full that area. We started, just kind of spread it throughout the entire house. Work was still going on, right? I think I managed to get the workers away from the site a little bit. Maybe it was in an early morning, something like that, but managed to take some picture. Back when I didn't have no hair. All right, my late brother helping me to spread some material in the building. I think at that point they were casting the front patio. These guys are amazing, right? These guys that I was working with, they are amazing. So we got to that point, cast the front and back patio. I sort of did like a little hang off, so it seems like it's floating. All right, I think that's pretty cool. Let me know what you think. That was the back. So work was going on. I mean, I don't know how the pictures. The pictures are arranged in a way that the last photo comes first. But bear with me. I'm doing this for the first time. Doing a bit of cleanup, and then I think at this point we were setting up to cast the decking or the top. My nephews and family friends helping to spread the material in the building. That was an amazing time. At the generator out, music playing. It was a good time. I miss those days. Hopefully, when they're building, they'll call me to help, and I could, return the support. At this point, I was, I got the columns, the decorative columns put in, right, and after a while, I felt like I should have went with something plain to have a more modern look, right? But I guess I'm stuck with these. It's crazy, but I like them nonetheless. But I figure something plain would make it, I could do more with the design to make it more modern, right? So they were setting up the decking. At this point, I rented plywood because I didn't feel like I was going to use them again for a while. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just rent them. Maybe I could have bought them and it would have worked out cheaper. I don't know. These screenshots are wild. What can I do to make these screenshots bigger? You'll be showing photos on the bottom. That's crazy. Yeah. So this is how it was going. I ended up renting metal props or whatever they call them to for the decking. I had gotten these pieces of I had chopped these posts to do it. You know, I got help to do it, and it's said that all that went down the drain because it took me a while to get to the decking, and so these, you know, they were rotten and were good enough to use anymore. Okay, so this was is what the upstairs would have looked like with three bedrooms, four, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what it will look like when I get to it, right? Moving most of the rooms upstairs, and the one that remains downstairs would be the guest room, and it would pretty much have the same external layout, huge bathroom and all of that. But when we get to that part, we'll talk more about it. This is another idea that I had for the outdoors, because I know from our culture we don't do too much with the outside other than just the original design, right? And so I figure I could do a little bit more, add some decorative siding and brick the outside, or at least a brick tile looking stuff, right? I might just have to do that because I think the one of the earthquakes that we had, they cracked one of the walls or cracked a part of the building. So I'm like, that crack is probably going to be there forever. So let me put something on there, you know, the siding that will hide that. All right. So more of the photos building up to the casting of the roof or casting of the decking or the slab. Right. Like I said, the guys did a great job. And so I'm not trying to make this video too long, so trying to skip through a little bit. All right, so I was there cutting some grass because after the guy charged me a fortune to cut just a little bit of space, I'm like, you know what, I should invest into a weed whacker. So I got that to help myself out when I, when I can. R.I.P. Max. Appreciate the help. Wish you were still here, but so life go. And yeah, so I think we are back at one of the first designs that I had. All right, let me share screen now and get back to you. All right, so yes, that's what I had doing on the second phase, just getting it up to where I could cast the slab roof, right? At that point, I'm thinking, you know what? When I go to the next level, I won't roof it because I feel like roofing, it looks good, but I also feel like it could be a waste of space, right? What I want to do is when I get to the top, I seal it and then pour maybe like 6 inches or maybe 10 inches of dirt of soil and then plant grass there. One of the ideas that I had with that is I would plant grass, peel it off, and sell the grass. Right. One of the other things was just to make it a recreational area, just using the top of the building. It's not like I don't have more space on the land. I have more space that I could use for that, right? But I figure we could just use those square foot, right, to do something with. Because once you roof a house, the roof only serves one purpose, and that's shelter. But if you slab it, you put stuff on top of it, make it a business idea, like I said, to plant grass and resell or whatever idea you come with. You could farm on top of it. You could have your gardens there and all of that. So those are some of the ideas I have when it comes on to the the finished product. Right. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. and have questions. In the next one, I'll share a little bit more about the prices, what I paid for the service up until this point. I try to document it as much as possible. I lost a little bit of the information, but I think I have enough to give you a general idea for what it costs up to this point and beyond. If you're thinking about building in Jamaica, it's truly an amazing experience. Yes, there are hiccups. Yes, there are days when you'll wonder what, but it's just an amazing experience and a milestone crossed, right? So feel free to share your journey as well. If there's something that I'm doing that you think could have been done differently, share with me. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and as always, one love. And stop live. Well, somebody was watching.